before we start playing some retail and Legion remixing here, we're gonna check out this video right here by Ebonheart. He made this one yesterday, and as you can see, the title is The Decline of Classic WoW and the Future of Classic Plus. I haven't seen this one yet, so I'm really excited on what he has to say, and I'm really excited about what he has to say. Gonna be interesting. It's an 18-minute video talking about, well, both Classic WoW and Classic Plus. It's topics that I'm deeply invested in myself, and I would love to hear more about what other people are saying as well, because for me, I have my opinion. It might not be the perfect one, but I'm allowed to voice it, and that's what I'm doing. I'm voicing my opinion, and I'm hoping other people do the exact same, because Classic Plus, I think we all have different versions of what Classic Plus is, and Blizzard, in this case, if they're making Classic Plus, which I believe they are, it is their job to listen to what the people want, and if everybody wants something different, they just have to listen to the majority, and then try to put things into Classic Plus that makes sense to Classic Plus, either way.
Classic WoW's got a pretty big problem recently, and you've probably seen a lot of videos, especially about the Total WoW drama, the lawsuit, and all the things that have been happening in the Classic WoW scene.
Yeah.
And the big issue that I've seen with the community is the death of Classic. Is Classic WoW dead? No, absolutely not.
Yeah, it is, dude. Classic WoW is so dead, bro. Nobody's playing, the raiders, there's nobody raiding, Mist of Pandaria is dead, Anniversary is dead. Just insane rage bait, by the way. No, it's not dead. Like, everyone is dooming and glooming right now for no reason. But the thing is, people are just tired and we want Classic Plus. Meanwhile, at the same time, we're playing the game and having fun. But we're allowed to play the game and have fun and ask for more at the same time. To me, it's just like, sure, Pandaria is okay, and I personally like the raids in Pandaria quite a lot. I even ended up liking the Phase 1 raids more than I was expecting, but for me, Throne of Thunder and Siege of Orgrimmar are the best raids of the expansion, and Phase 1 was kind of his sleeper phase, but even then, I really enjoyed the raids more than I was expecting that I would. And Anniversary as well, you have, is it like 200 or 100,000 people? Yeah, it's 100,000 raid logging right now in AQ in Phase 5, which is arguably the most dead phase, and also just like, we're in a down period right now, and even then you still have 100,000 people raid logging. It's obvious that there's a bunch of people that just want to play vanilla WoW, but there's also a bunch of people that want vanilla WoW with a little bit of extra spice on top.
Anniversaries popping, Mr. Pandaria semi-popular. These servers are doing just fine, but Classic on a year-by-year basis has become less and less popular, and as more and more people unsub, less and less people are returning. Not because Classic WoW is bad, but because it's no longer the Classic people fell in love with, or the Classic WoW that everybody's come to love and adore. If you look at 2019, right, that was a return to form. It was a return to the origins, the roots of what made World of Warcraft World of Warcraft. We went on a journey, a story, a passion project that made everybody relive their nostalgic memories. What's happening now? We are on Anniversary, effectively the 6th re-release of Classic since 2019.
Yeah.
Does that make it a bad experience? No. But if you played in 2019...
Have we had 6? I want to see if he's counting here to see if we have had 6. Because I'm thinking Classic, Season of Mastery, official hardcore servers, and Anniversary. And then Season of Discovery, if you count Season of Discovery. Which was, like, not just a re-release, but, yeah, like... Did I miss out on something? Because I'm counting 5. Maybe I'm dumb.
Then you played Season of Mastery. Then you played any of the reroll projects, for example, Arcanite Reaper, White Mane, whatever. Then...
so, like, not official.
There was Hardcore. Then there was Sod. Then there was Anniversary. These all get together to show you just how many times we've rerun Classic. And the most popular version...
Oh, when he says the White Mane thing, that was a community made fresh, right? Because that happened in TBC, I think. We had the whole community made fresh, and also community made hardcore servers. Like when everybody, I say everyone, we had 3, 4, and 5 fully guilds on EU alone of people doing community-made hardcore fresh before we ended up getting hardcore servers. I'm guessing we count that as one more, but that definitely makes sense because thousands of people were playing hardcore at the same time when it was community-made.
In our Classic was when we were going into Season of Discovery, not counting 2019 of course. In Season of Discovery, the reason for that popularity was the mythical Classic Plus.
Yeah.
Everybody went in with their eyes wide open, hype, hopium, like just they desire to re-experience that journey once again. And what did we really get? We got a bunch of rather Lich King systems, you know, implanted upon Classic. It was a good experience, the level up raids, the new dungeons, like the new content that they did add. Scarlet Inkling was phenomenal. But the pacing of the project, the pacing of the content, the pacing of the experience left a lot to be desired. Which ties me back to the Total WoW drama that just happened. At the end of Season of Discovery,
It's also just like, to me, Season of Discovery, I feel like we had too many runes personally, like too many class runes, and they shouldn't even have been runes to begin with. There should have been actual class abilities that you learn for your class, and instead of giving us 20 runes, I think we ended up with like, what did we have? 2 ring, and then every single slot of like items. The only things we didn't have is trinket runes, I think, and weapon runes. But everything else, we had like a head rune, shoulder rune, a cloak rune, bracers, hands, literally everything except for trinkets and weapons, I believe. Maybe even necklace. Either way, you had like 15 runes per class. It was a little bit much. I feel like personally, if you just gave all classes, let's say 5 abilities, or 3 active abilities and 2 passive abilities, that would be more than enough, and just don't dilute things too much, if that makes sense. I also believe that calling Season of Discovery was a big mistake to begin with. Should never have been named a season. The second you call something a season, people know it's ending. MMORPGs are about time investments. The second you know something ends, you are way less likely and also way less incentivized to put your time into that project. Seasonal things to me just makes no sense. It's a cool way to have a testing ground, but why not just call it Discovery Server on Era, so we know it's permanent? That would have been 10 times better. I don't know, maybe I'm overreacting.
a lot of people were left like blindsided. Where do I go? Your options were go to Anniversary and get ready for AQ.
Wait. Evan Hart is, I'm reacting to you reacting to me. Absolute reactception, dude. Let's go. That is insane.
Q40 and have a lot of fun there. Quotation marks fun. Go to Mr. Pandaria. And I tried. I truly genuinely tried to go and get into Mr. Pandaria. But to me, it's such a far cry from Classic that I just struggle. I didn't even hit 90. I'm at 89, 95% or something.
What a
it
dude.
just wasn't fun. I just couldn't vibe with it. And this isn't to say, oh my god, retail bad, it's too much of a retail expansion. I started playing the War Within Season 3, and I'm having 10 times more fun on the War Within Season 3 than I was in Mr. Pandaria. But for me, my whole channel for the longest time has been about Classic Plus, the journey to Classic Plus. And the Total WoW drama signified to the huge Classic community that mental shift, that mental energy that we're dedicating towards Blizzard, and it became this big fuck you. Not because Total WoW was the peak of content, and it was really good, by the way, like 10 new dungeons or new raids, a dozen new zones, all these little features that made Classic Plus so cool and invigorating. What was the fuck you to the player base was, we don't know what's coming next. Now, we know subconsciously, consciously, whatever, that Blizzard is working on something next. They've said as much, they've teased as much, they've said a dozen little interviews.
Yeah, the thing is, we know they're working on something, but exactly what are they working on? Are they working on the next season? Or are they actually working on Classic Plus? Or are they working on the both? Because to me, I feel like if Classic Plus is to be announced at BlizzCon next year, and then let's say it's playable early 2027, we need something else to play in the meantime. Which, sure, it would make sense if it was a season, even though I personally don't like having seasonal things in MMORPGs. Giving us a season to play while they make Classic Plus would make sense. In that case, fucking tell us. Tell us the season you're working on. Don't do a Season of Discovery where you tell us 2 weeks in advance and be like, oh yeah, by the way, it's launching in 2 weeks. Why not tell us now? People, like, there's so much uproar right now in the community, especially after the whole lawsuit versus Turtle WoW thing. They could save so much face by simply communicating. And what do they do instead? They absolutely sprint the other way. They look at you, and you want to have communication. They actively run away from you. It is just a big F you to the community, man.
Using quotes here or there. There's something big coming. Classic Plus is coming. But we don't officially have any
A
confirmation,
turtle
anything to
made
go
it
off
to
of.
the
We don't even have a
water.
roadmap for when Classic, like TBC Anniversary is coming.
Hey yo, thank you for the following kick, by the way. I appreciate that, dude, Roddy. Thank you. I made a kick so I can follow you. Hey, I appreciate that, man. We're trying to build a classic WoW community over here, so hopefully you're going to have fun being part of the community.
The roadmap for Mr. Pandaria and the pacing of those expansions, or those phases in this context. A lot of the classic player base feels left in limbo, abandoned like the red-headed stepchild. The abandoned bastard who has no love or care from their parent, Blizzard, in this context. And Turtle WoW showcased to the community what a Classic Plus looked like. It became the definition of Classic Plus. I'm doing a lot of air quotes in this video because I know it is what it is. I'm not here to justify that a private server, should have been left up. They were stealing IP and material. And yes, I know there's gonna be a bunch of people in the comments saying, but then Blizzard should have done something, it's Blizzard's fault, this and that. Legally, Blizzard's in the right. That's appeared in the story. Do I like it? Absolutely not. But they're a ginormous company and they're gonna protect their IP, right? It's just simple.
It's like legally they're in the right, but also there's two other big servers out there that are still operating, that are really big, by the way, and Blizzard 100% knows about them. And also, just because you're right about something, should you really do it though? And if they're going to take that wholly, like, the wholly high road of being like, guys, we're following the rules, dude, but we're so good because we're following the rules. What about botting and RMT? Botting is against terms of service, so is RMT. At the moment, they are only banning people partaking in those two activities, to the point where they still partake in those activities. If you buy gold right now, you get a slap on the wrist, 2-week ban, being like, dude, don't do that again. Why not give them 6 months? And I know why, you know why. Blizzard don't want to lose them as a player. They know that people buy gold in Classic, and they want people to keep doing so while still paying for their sub. Because Blizzard doesn't care. As long as you pay your sub and you're a happy player, they're happy, because then they keep printing money. And that brings us back to botting as well, because they farm gold and sell gold. They get slapped a little bit harder on the wrists, sure, but bots are banned in waves, and the waves are so far apart that the bots always make a profit, which means they come back. If I run a botting company, and I make, let's say, $1,000 in profit, before any bot get banned, of course I'm just gonna reboot another one. Why not? If it's a profitable business for the bots, they're going to keep running it again. However, if Blizzard stepped up and banned those bots faster, before they made a profit, they would go away. You have to ask yourself, why are they not doing it?
Simply what it is. Microsoft was never going to let this slide, especially with how big TWoW as a corporation, as an entity became. So that ties back to the entire situation of Classic WoW is dead. The feeling and the community is effectively dead. There is no going around that or getting around that. The leveling journey, which is one of the biggest core components of World of Warcraft, has been dead since effectively mid-2020. Since TBC onwards launch, the leveling journey has been dead.
Yeah.
The game has become this weird emulsification of endgame activities, endgame drive, how to min-max effectively, how to play the game at the highest echelon and highest tier of gameplay. That is completely antithetical to the spirit of Classic. And I know people are going to say, but after the 17th character, it doesn't matter.
Okay, what he just said makes me think back, because did he say anti-ethical? I've always said antithetical. Am I wrong? Because I know that my English is not perfect. And have I been saying the wrong thing all the time?
That's true, but it should.
Thinking about it now, what he said makes more sense. I don't know.
The game should have continued evolving past 2019. Anniversary was a good experiment, a good experience, but launching that right after SOD, to be fair, it launched during SOD. Mr. Pandaria, AQ40, Season of Discovery, all of these things were kind of happening, give or take, in the same ballpark, same time frame. And all that's led to is this frustration and this lack of love towards the Classic community. It's so split apart and spread across so many game modes that nobody is truly happy. I've seen a saying, and the saying is effectively, there are so many ways to play Classic WoW, and none of them are fun. And that kind of stings, but it's also true. You have, from all the current available options, you have Anniversary, you have Hardcore WoW, you have Mists of Pandaria. Those are just 3 options. Then you have Era, you have Sod Era, and then you have Hardcore Era. That is 6 versions of Classic WoW. Now 3 of those are Era, so let's discount those. But of the 3 remaining versions, Official Hardcore, Official AQ or Anniversary, and Official MOP, none of those are truly representing the spirit of modern day Classic and what the community really wants. Hardcore is for a small subset of the player base that loves and lives and breathes that truly difficult life-altering moment of gameplay. Mists of Pandaria is this weird middle point of between retail and Classic. It's not as quality of life as retail, or not as fun as retail. The raids are good, but that's about it. It's, Mists of Pandalia as the memes have been going around.
Yeah, dude.
And Anniversary is just Anniversary. To the huge crowd that loves Anniversary and loves the Classic and the whole thing, it's not even an authentic version of Classic to them because they don't even have GDKPs. And I'm not a pro GDKP person. I think them being removed from the game is a good thing. But a lot of these Anniversary Andes, these Anniversary era players, they want that. They live and breathe that. They live and breathe that endgame raiding. Max world buffs, max consumes, making sure you do your rank 14 for the gear and all these little things to make sure you are playing as effectively as possible. That is what World of Warcraft has become. That is what World of Warcraft has started to turn into. And realistically, it's not Classic Plus. That's the big thing that's stopping Classic from being popular. 2019 was as popular as it was because it was a return to form. Season Discovery's launch was as popular as it was because it was a new version of Classic. It wasn't Season of Mastery, it wasn't Anniversary, 500,000 people, and yes, I know a lot of alt and all that stuff, I get that. But the first foray into Classic Plus was groundbreakingly popular. And then since then...
Anybody who played, by the way, both Season of Mastery and Season of Discovery, they can't even be compared. I played both, and I really enjoyed both, but I kind of quit really early in Season of Mastery, due to the fact that it wasn't really enough changes, and also, really big lack of hype. It was completely dead compared to Season of Discovery. Discovery was huge, and you have to ask yourself why it was huge. I really hope that the second Season of Discovery took off, Blizzard got the green light from the dev team, the Classic WoW dev team, got the green light from the higher-ups of guys, make Classic Plus. Because in my head, they have to have been working on Classic Plus now for a while, and if they haven't, I don't understand what they've been doing. Season of Discovery Phase 1 alone should have proven, theoretically, that Classic Plus is going to be huge.
We've been left in this limbo. As a Classic player, you're probably having the worst time of your life right now despite having so many different options to play the game. I'm sure you've seen a whole bunch of...
It's like Redneck says here. I had zero motivation to play on a seasonal realm. Yeah, and calling it season to me was such a huge mistake. They should just have opened up a fresh era server and called it Discovery Era. That way you know that server is permanent, it's here to stay. Your time invested here will be valuable, both now and in several years in the future. You can come back and play. And sure, you might be able to do that now as well. Because they have been saying, the servers aren't going anywhere, but why call it a season then? When you call it a season from the start, people are way less likely to play it and invest their time. Calling it Season of Discovery, big mistake from the start. But even then, so many people played. So that's a huge indicator of Classic Plus would have been huge and will be huge. Just do it correctly and announce it ASAP.
Creators, some of my friends for example, we've been talking and discussing about the current state of Classic WoW. Even a lot of Classic streamers have just ended up quitting. A lot of Classic players have started quitting. World of Warcraft Classic is no longer growing. And it likely will not grow at all until Classic Plus gets announced in the future. Everyone's going to old school RuneScape, or in people like my case, waiting for TBC Anniversary or Classic Plus and playing retail or other games in the meanwhile. A lot of people were playing private servers before that got nuked. And I know content creation and streamers aren't a metric of popularity, but we can even see in the raid logs in just for example Ironforge Pro. Mists of Pandaria on its 3rd week, and the 3rd week is meant to be where the numbers peak. A brand new raid tier launched, and
it's you can say that content creators are not a metric of how popular a game is, should be, or will be, but if over half of your content creators leaves for a different game, and they don't even come back when they're paid to come back, that should tell you a lot. And when it comes to the whole content creators versus viewer thing, people tend to want to play the same game as the people that they're watching. Simply Saryu, Gusu, and Joker going from classic WoW to old school RuneScape, that is not Blizzard losing for content creators. That is Blizzard losing for content creators and possibly 100,000 players following their favorite content creators. Like, that's probably a massively inflated number, by the way, but you get the point. Even if it's 1,000 players as well, they all have huge viewer bases, both on Twitch and YouTube, and those guys either partially or fully swapping over. I mean, Joker has basically not played MOP and fully swapped over to old school RuneScape. Gusu, the same thing. Saryu is still doing some MOP, of course, but not a lot, and some streamers even got offered a $5,000 contract to play Mist of Pandaria instead of RuneScape, and they said no. Just because, like, they would rather play old school RuneScape and have fun, instead of playing MOP, even when they're being paid big money for it. That should speak levels of the current state.
Went from 180,000 raiders to 192,000 raiders. That right there shows me that there isn't going to be any more growth in MOP. Throne of Thunder might maintain 190,000 people, so might Siege of Orgrimmar. But if that's the cap for classic progression, that's not a big number. That's honestly disappointing, and that's assuming it stays at 200,000 for Throne of Thunder. Just like Cataclysm will probably drop to 120, 80, 90, 70k. Anniversary is maintaining its player base because, like I said, there's a classic era crowd that will always, forever play rerolls on freshers. But that number's going to get less and less with each reroll. If they re-release Anniversary next year, it wouldn't peak at 100k, it'd peak at 70k, then 40k, then 20k, until we're back to era where the majority will stay around. So now that I've covered all that, I want to discuss Classic Plus. The community just wants it at this point. World of Warcraft, for the most part, has become this tired, reused, redone experience. And when a private server showcases the world what Classic could be, because it didn't really change much. Some slight TBC class balancing, some new little tweaks there. Paladin has Taunt, for example, stuff like that. But they showcase the zones. They showcase all these new dungeons, these new leveling abilities, like routes, these new like quest hubs, new little open world areas, full-on tweaks to the leveling experience to make it smoother and more efficient without making leveling faster. Brand new raid tiers in between the existing raid tiers, brand new items and bosses to all these existing raids and dungeons. These little additions to the experience showcase to the world what Classic WoW could be. Now, if you look at my channel, there's 100 videos about Classic Plus. The abandoned dungeons of vanilla, the abandoned raids, the unfinished classes. For example, Death Knight was meant to be in vanilla WoW, but the guy that was working on it never really got to finish it because, you know, layoffs and stuff like that, and like, you know, he just never got to get around to finishing that. Every little team was working on different things. Now, would Death Knight have even been finished had he remained at the company? Maybe, maybe not. But Rune Master, for example, like there was a dozen different projects alone that were abandoned in vanilla and never had time to be finished. And these private servers are effectively looking at all that abandoned content and going, hey, there's a lore snippet here. Let me try and expand upon that and make more of it. Oh my god, they left this little open area here, and there are references of routes here back in the past from Warcraft 3, or, you know, the manuals of Warcraft 2 and 1. Let me add a zone here, let me add a context here, let me add dungeons, lore.
Yeah, it's like, for example, Turtle WoW, a server that was recently sued by Blizzard, right? To give you an example of how lore correct that server was when it comes to adding content, they've just been expanding vanilla in the spirit of vanilla. If you do a dungeon called Dragonmore Retreat, and you look at the map in Dragonmore Retreat, there's an orc there holding a staff. That staff is based on a on a sketch made by Metzen back in vanilla WoW. So they're literally looking at sketches that was made back then and turning that into things in-game. To me, that is a perfect example of them just diving deep into what was left unfinished back then, looking at sketches that were literally sketches on paper, or like digital sketches, and turning it into actual in-game assets. They finished the old Blizzard's job for them. It's insane.
Characters and things like that to expand upon the universe and lore. And it brought back the journey. It brought back hype. And the biggest thing, in my opinion, though, and like as cool as all that content, all that amazing systems and stuff are, GMs, Private servers have no bots and no GMs. And yes, I know, they sell gold, they sell items, you can buy power, you can buy bags, mounts, things like that. I get that. I'm not saying they're perfect, they're not. They don't have a sub cost, which is one thing. And that's a minor thing, but they went out of their way to handle the botting issue. If you ever logged onto one of these servers, there is no one to sell, boosting in Morodon, boosting here, boosting that. All that is banned. It's against TOS. And it showed to me a potential vision of the game or a memory of the past. For example, OG Wrath, OG Kata, OG TBC. If anybody even typed that shit, they were getting banned like this. You had a problem, you could open a ticket and a GM would come, except for an expansion launch. If an expansion launched brand new, you'd have like, you know, a queue 1, 2, 3 hours, whatever. But if you would just like on any regular day, 3 months into an expansion, you'd probably get a GM in 5 or 10 minutes tops. And they would come down, check what was wrong and be like, oh, I see what happened, this quest bugged out. Let me either complete the quest for you or let me reset the quest for you. Oh, you got an item, but the item doesn't work because it's broken, because the quest broke? Let me respawn the item for you. Oh, this happened, let me do this for you. These GM interactions built that community, the mythological status of GMs in the game and the world in general. That doesn't happen anymore. It just doesn't happen anymore. Right now, we have AI automated systems, which are absolute fucking dog water. It's one of my biggest complaints with Blizzard and with Microsoft in general is, you make 110 billion net profit. I'm not saying you need to go and hire 10,000 GMs and customer service people, but getting in touch with a living, breathing human in the customer support team is next to fucking impossible. Now, if you're a content creator, you know, you got enough influence, you go on Twitter and you're loud enough and gets enough attention, you'll get your things addressed. But that shouldn't be the case basis on how to get things handled. This isn't the devs' fault, by the way. I'm not going here like, oh my god, classic devs bad, classic devs this, or retail devs this, retail devs that. I'm talking about corporate as a whole. There needs to be more budget for CS, because the AI tools are fucking dog water. Now, I don't like cussing. I'm not trying to sit here and cuss and like, you know, all that stuff. But it's genuinely a...
You know, the sad part here is, it's all about the bottom line. When it comes to being a business, it's all about the bottom line, and then making as much profit as possible based on that bottom line. But the really sad part is that Blizzard, well now Microsoft, they are willing to put billions into AI research instead of hiring human like labor and human like workforce. Just hire GMs, hire people to do the customer service jobs. They are willing to once again spend billions on AI training and AI research when they can simply wait, let other people do that for them, and if or when AI actually becomes good, go for it. But that's never gonna happen. But until then, please keep having actual people working in customer support. I see this happening in real life as well. Way too many businesses now have only AI and only like online help for things that you actually need human people for. So you have to write an email, try to contact them online. Why not just like let us speak to a human being, man? It doesn't cost that much to have customer support.
Disappointing experience to see how profitable World of Warcraft is as a game and to have effectively no love in regards to our player experience and our player expectations. Yeah. Retail WoW is the best that it's ever been. Honestly, playing the War Within Season 3, I'm having more fun than I've had in Classic for quite some time. That's, as a Classic player, a disappointing reality to me.
Yeah.
As amazing as the War Within Season 3 has been, and as amazing as Midnight WoW looks, the fact that me as a Classic player is sitting here going, oh, what am I streaming? Retail. That's wild. You asked me a year ago during SOD if I would ever stream retail. I would have said, fuck no. Again, apologies for the cursing. But it's what it is, and that's where I am right now. A lot of Classic players are progressively unsubbing, slowly and surely unsubbing and moving on to other experiences, other games, other MMOs. But the whole point of this video was Classic Plus as an identity, as an experience, needs to become a thing and needs to get announced at some point or in the future. Having seen what these private servers are capable of doing, I have really high expectations for Blizzard. I have really high expectations for what Classic Plus should look like. By the launch of it, it should have a dozen...
Okay. There's two things here that should never be in the same sentence, by the way. High expectations and Blizzard. I don't want to hear you say those two things in the same sentence ever again. That is pretty insane. Like, that is the ultimate level of copium and hopium at the same time. That is insane, dude. What the Well, it is what it is, I guess.
New zones, or maybe not a dozen off the get-go, but 4 or 5, a dozen dungeons, a new raid tier or 2, brand new itemization, full class balance. These private servers have set a bar, and Blizzard needs to match it, and I truly believe that the classic devs are capable of matching and exceeding what private servers are capable of. Because private servers have to operate outside the law, outside of the...
Buy gold, really buy gear. Yo, Gold Strike, thank you for the prime, by the way. Thank you.
Don't ban me, bro. Don't ban me, man.
I appreciate that. Thank you so much for 2 months as well. Subbed for the good videos lately. Yo, thank you. I do try.
Systems and original tools that Blizzard has. They have to make their own, whereas Blizzard has all access to all these information and things. The classic dev team has grown drastically since the launch of SOD. But I will say, being a classic player in 2025, as of right now, is the same thing as being a retail player during Shadowlands. It is an absolute travesty. It is an absolutely untenable, unstable experience, and it's just not sustainable for the classic player base. I'm not saying we're this ginormous 5+ million sub like community catered to us, but there's definitely over 1 million classic WoW subscribers. And those...
Yeah, this is a good rabbit hole to go down, by the way, what you just said there, Gleek. They've successfully funneled Eben to retail. Why the heck would they make Classic Plus? The end goal is to funnel to retail, because they make more money off of retail. What if they are intentionally right now making Classic WoW a bad experience, and only giving us the options of Anniversary versus Mists of Pandaria, because they know that Anniversary is not going to be for everyone, not everybody wants to do that for the 6th time, and also not everybody wants to go down the route of Mists of Pandaria, which leaves you with retail. And they now take down Turtle to take down another option for you to go. They're trying to take away every single path you can go down, to the point where the only path you're gonna have left is either you play retail or you quit. And Blizzard knows that you are too addicted to WoW to quit, so many people are probably going to go to retail. That is an interesting rabbit hole to dig down, dude. Conspiracy theory number 1, by the way. Tinfoil hat level extreme.
Those people deserve love as well as the retail team does. I'm not saying give us 600 employees like the retail dev team has. 300 people across 2 different teams.
Yeah.
But 60 people or 45 people is a far cry from retail, and I know we don't make as much money. I know we don't have an in-game shop and the traders post and all these things where you can buy a brand new expansion every 2 years. Like Mr. Pandaria was a free thing. You could buy a bundle, but that was it. Whereas to get Midnight WoW, you have all these epic editions, standard edition, collectors and all this stuff. Monetize Classic. If that's what it takes, monetize Classic WoW. But we need more. And Classic Plus needs to get announced. When Gamescom came and went, there was not even a single peep about Classic WoW as an experience for the entire community. This is why there's all these posts and conversations about Classic is dead, Classic is dead, Classic is terrible, quit, don't sub, don't support this company. The people feel betrayed.
Yep.
Whether they are betrayed or not is irrelevant. Player perception is more important than what's actually happening. Keep in mind, World of Draenor was the most amazing launch experience, and it immediately died because player perception was broken. The bubble burst and everybody immediately quit. So they moved on to Legion. But every time you damage player trust and player perception, it's harder and harder to recover that. I can cry to the heavens how good the War Within Season 3 is. The average Classic player is going to look at me and say, yeah, absolutely not. Not even a single shred of chance that I'm going to try this thing. It's retail WoW, I don't care.
Yeah,
but a lot of these people will come back for Classic Plus because they'll want to see what Blizzard's vision of that experience is. And that's the final chance. Being real here, if Classic Plus is a terrible launch, terrible experience, no content, no things, it goes through the same thing SOD Phase 3 went through. That's it for Classic. That's where the official Classic is dead chants become officially true.
Yeah.
But as of right now, there's hope. People are clinging onto that hopium. And I can't wait to cover Classic Plus. I can't wait to talk, stream, discuss it. In depth, fully detailed, with all my heart and energy. But I'm gonna be real. The likelihood of Classic Plus coming out anytime earlier than BlizzCon next year is 0. So will the Classic community survive and thrive until BlizzCon next year?
No.
That's a year away. And what's gonna happen in that whole year's time? As TWAB becomes less and less accessible, private servers become less and less accessible, Mr. Pandora progresses to Siege of Orgrimmar, and then what? Warlords of Draenor is emerging into retail. Anniversary at least goes to TBC Anniversary, so that's pretty cool. But Classic's current state is abysmal. And that sucks from the perspective of a Classic player. But hey, it's what it is. Classic Plus might happen. It looks good, it sounds good, they've teased enough that we know it's coming. I just hope it's an amazing experience on launch. So thank you all for watching. If you liked this video, like and subscribe. If you hated it, understandable. Dislike and subscribe and become a dedicated hater. We don't half-ass hate on this channel, we full ass it. Thank you all for watching. Ebonhard out. Peace.
I'm going to hate on that one. I'm an absolutely dedicated hater. That's going to be a downvote and a really angry comment. Now, but a good video. Upvote and gonna leave a comment. Let me see here. Good video, Eben. You're really handsome today. There we go. Good comment. Either way, like, he is 100% correct. Like, Classic Plus to me is the final chance Classic WoW has, really, to actually show that they understand what people are asking for. Like, right now, players are asking for something, and Blizzard keeps ignoring us and basically spitting in our face. It's a bad player perception. The player perception right now is that Blizzard does not listen to feedback, they don't listen to their community, and when people are asked about Classic Plus, they think it's going to be a whole season of bots. Classic Plus invasion of botting, Classic Plus full of RMT and bots. The player perception is that Classic Plus is going to be trash, and that it's going to be dead on arrival. That is not a good player perception to have. They need to start saving face, and they need to start actually listening to people, and they need to start just doing anything. It's not that hard, is it? At least it shouldn't be. And another thing that I see all the time is like, oh, you creators are just talking to talk and making videos just to make videos. We are gamers. We want the game to be good. It's like, I just want a game and have a good time, and then talk positively about the game. But when Blizzard does what they're currently doing, I can't do that. What am I supposed to do? Make daily videos on Pandaria, where the video is going to be like this. Yo, what's up guys, it's your boy Solheim here, and doing Celestial Dungeons is still really rewarding and somewhat fun. Leave a thumbs up and let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. And that video is going to be the same video every single day, by the way. Because like, what else is there to talk about? To a certain degree, I just want the game to be good, and I want Blizzard to listen to our feedback. Not my feedback, but the player's feedback. At least listen to somebody. Tell me that I suck, I don't care, just listen to someone's feedback. I don't know. I said long ago, Blizzard hates its subscribers, yeah, and I don't find any reason to disagree with you, personally. It just seems like they have too big egos to even listen to their player base right now, which is insane, by the way. I don't know. The current state is not good. I mean, I'm logging in to play retail. That's the state. Man, I just want Classic Plus, man. I really just want Classic Plus, right? I want Classic Plus. I want it, like, even if I don't want it to be out, I want it to be announced, and then give us a season to play in the meantime. If we have to wait until BlizzCon next year for Classic Plus to be announced, we need something until then. There's no way we are going 14 months of radio silence. That would be insane. Yo, Jason, how you doing, by the way? What's up? Listening to player feedback is what made it from Classic and TBC into Wrath and Kata. Yeah, it is what it is. Yeah, I don't know, man, like, it is an interesting state. I don't know what to say. Like, to me, I just want the game to be good. Oh, there's so many dumb people, by the way. This is insane. Oh, I need to show this somehow. Can I actually show this? Yeah, no, I can show this. Look at that comment, by the way, on... I made a video on the whole suit thing, right? And instantly, sell out. The fuck did I sell out for, dude? I call him a negative IQ Andy, and he has to start hitting, oh, virgin. The second you use the word virgin as an insult, I understand that you are mentally 8 years old. That's so dumb, bro. Oh, it's great. It's great. It is what it is. Make it more easy. I want dungeon teleport. I want more gear super easy. Here, buying out PCers and letting us play them for a sub is the best move right now. The best move, if you ask me, is allowing servers to be made on Blizzard's servers, if that makes sense. So like official private servers. Blizzard could open up, like when you connect here, go to a realm location, you can select between Classic Era, Classic Progression, Mist of Pandaria, and then you have community servers as an option. And over there, you allow people to have access to mod tools and make their own server. So you can have Solheim's server, you can have Turtle WoW there, Ascension WoW there, and all of those servers, whenever you donate to them or like buy anything on them, Blizzard gets a cut. Because that way they have a monetary incentive to make this happen. And it would just be so great, because that way they leave the development in players' hands. They can just sit back and be like, oh, dude, another day in the office. We're going to drink some coffee today and look at the servers and see what's up. Like, they don't have to do fuck all if they do this. Just allow the players to be the developers. That is such an obvious move, and I don't understand. That 100% would be the best move, but they won't do that because it would make too much sense. Like GTA 5 did it. Yeah, it would make too much sense. And the whole Blizzard ego thing. Super Mario Maker WoW Edition? Exactly! Like, you can do so many things, and they take away the need to have developers as well. They can fire their whole team. And still, the bottom line is going to be crazy. Would be insane. Yeah, exactly. Allow people to mod and make their own servers with the condition of players need an active sub and a royalty. Yeah, insanely easy. We build a server called Sellout Virgins Only. Yes, that's gonna be my server, and we have to pay like $1,000 to play there, because #sellout. Alright, guys, there's one more video I'm gonna check out today before I start playing, by the way, because this one popped up yesterday, and I have only